Put yourself in position to win big on Kentucky Derby Day with the power of daily racing form. Visit shop.drf.com and get past performances, expert picks, betting strategies, clock reports, and more. Again, that's shop.drf.com. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a closer look at Kentucky Derby contender Reincarnate, who won the Grade 3 Sham for Bob Baffert earlier in the year and has placed in a couple of grade stakes races at Oaklawn since being transferred over to Tim Yakteen. Let's take a look at his most recent start. This is the Arkansas Derby, where he was no match for the winner, Angel of Empire. He prompted a pretty solid pace, Mike. He finished best of the pace horses. I wanted to see a little bit more kind of oomph in the stretch.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I mean, this isn't, the most compelling performance in the world. He did go forward in here. He was relatively close to the pace throughout the running here. But I don't know, Dan, there was never a real point in the race where it looked like he was going to win. Angel of Empire ran right by him as that field came to the stretch. And then he gets outfinished by a big long shot for second. I guess there are ways to mitigate that performance somewhat if you really wanted to. I think it's still fair to question how good this horse really is.
Let's talk about his race 2 starts back. That was the Grade 2 Rebel. He was sort of cold, I thought, on the tote at 9-2 that day. Didn't get away, I thought, as quickly as you would expect from a horse coming in from Southern California. He has a big trouble line. I wonder if the trouble is just slightly exaggerated.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's a pretty tough call. To me, I felt like he really did have legit trouble in the stretch of that race. I don't know how much it was ultimately going to matter. But the reality is, for the first time in his life, they took him back off the pace that day. He did wind up in really tight, down to about mid-stretch in there before he finally got clear. And then I thought he put in a pretty good run to get up for third. In a lot of ways, even though it's not the fastest race he's ever run, Dan, I think it might be the best race he's ever run.
I think that's fair to say, because his sort of signature victory in the Grade 3 Sham came in a race where he was game, but I think you have to question that Beyer speed figure a little bit, as well as the competition a bit.
Yeah, that's how I looked at the Sham too. I mean, I don't want to, be too hard on him for it. He was right off of his maiden win in there, but it was one of those races that was just sort of overloaded with Baffert horses. It was hard to tell which one of those Baffert horses were going to make the lead. And it turned out to be Reincarnate at a price. He didn't look like the fastest horse early, but he was the one who made the lead, and he managed to hold on. But I don't know. I'm not sure that I really love that performance. And I don't think he's really done anything since then to make me change my mind about him.
Never off the board from 7 lifetime starts. He is by Good Magic, and he sold for $775,000 as a yearling. Now, the dam was a sprinter. She was a stakes winner on synthetic. She is a half-sister to a Grade 2 place turf router. Do you have some questions about this horse's ability to get 1.25 miles? I'm a little dubious.
Yeah, I'm a little dubious too, especially when you go back and watch that most recent start where he just really didn't finish that strongly. Certainly maybe the plan though, come Kentucky Derby Day, Dan, will be to do what they did in the Rebel and just sort of sit back and try to make one run. That could certainly work out for him. Baffert never went short with this horse. I mean, he didn't even sprint this horse to start his career, so they didn't think he was a sprinter.
That's one of the more intriguing aspects of the Derby from a pace standpoint. What is going to happen with Reincarnate? I feel that he has enough speed that if they want to get aggressive with him, he can get right up close. But maybe, just maybe, as you mentioned, the Rebel was his best performance because he adopted these tactics, and it could help his stamina a little bit. Do you feel that's what they're going to do, take him back?
Yeah, it's a real question. I don't know what they're going to do here. I mean, you feel like in a race like the Derby, especially this year, where it doesn't really seem like it's going to be one of those supersonic paces in the Kentucky Derby, that maybe the right plan would be to just go forward and try to get a position. But I still feel like the best race he ran was when they took him back and made one run.
Reincarnate, 3rd in the Arkansas Derby, 3rd in the Rebel. He's a graded stakes winner this year. He's never off the board. He has John Velasquez, the great Hall of Famer, aboard on the first Saturday in May.